Welcome to Impact Farming, where we introduce you to the people and ideas that will have a massive impact on your farming operation. Brought to you by Farm Marketer. Sit down, start the engine, and let's roll with today's show.
Hello everybody, and welcome to the Impact Farming Show. I have a very special episode for you guys and an amazing guest. With me today, I have Barb Cote, and I am at Black Fox Farms and Distillery. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
I am so happy to be here. I heard Barb speak at an event, the Canadian Agriculture Marketing Association event, about her location here. And to be honest, I did taste the gin and it was amazing. And I just absolutely had to get out here and interview you guys because you are farmers and you have Black Fox Farms and Distillery, which is a non-traditional farm. So welcome.
Thank you.
You and your husband John own this operation, right?
Correct.
Okay, perfect. So I find there is nobody in the world better to talk about a business than the owner themselves. So can you tell us about Black Fox Farms?
For sure. So on our farm, we like to say we grow booze and flowers. That's what we do here. So we have a cut flower farm where we have flowers that are available for you pick, for people to come and pick flowers. But the bigger part of our business is the distillery. And in the distillery, we make gin, we make whiskey, we make liqueurs, and a little bit of vodka.
Excellent. So I love backstories. I'm a business person myself, and farmers were business people. We always know the blood, sweat, and tears and backstory that goes into making something. So can you share your farming journey with me, just like you did at that event I attended?
For sure. So we have owned this farm now for 9 years, but prior to that, we were grain farmers at Least, Saskatchewan, which is about an hour north of Saskatoon. We grew wheat, barley, peas, canola, flax, oats, canary seed, so we were fairly diversified as a grain farm. We also were partners in a fuel and fertilizer dealership where we had 4 satellite sites in northern Saskatchewan.
Oh wow.
And then I'm an animal nutritionist by training, so I had a livestock nutrition consulting business at the farm.
Oh wow, that was busy.
Yeah, never bored.
Yeah,
it's kind of our motto.
Isn't that farmers for us?
Yes.
You always got to be busy. What's a day off?
Yes.
Right? If you have a day off, you find
you
something
fill
to
it.
do. Yeah.
Yes, you definitely fill it.
Okay, so I am also curious. We have the backstory about who you guys are. How did this idea start? This place, guys, if you ever get the opportunity, come here. It's stunning. It's stunning. So how did the idea for this start?
So as grain farmers, we had spent a lot of time doing some traveling, doing some studying. We had some lucky things happen to us. We are outstanding young farmers that we've been recognized in the province and in the country. And
congrats.
Oh, thank you. And we're Nuffield scholars, both John and I. He actually was just awarded the scholarship this year.
Oh,
so
excellent.
yes, yeah, I did mine 15 years ago, and I believe we're actually the first husband and wife team that has ever been Nuffield scholars.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cool.
And so what we ended up doing was we had traveled a bit. We took a sabbatical from our grain farm where we rented out the farm for 2 years, and we went and lived in Mexico for a year and in Chile for a year.
Wow.
We took our 4 children and went there. If anyone ever wants to see agriculture at its finest, Chile. Go to Chile. They've got absolutely everything. It's amazing. Everything from that we can grow, like the wheat, barley, peas, canola, flax, to then we start getting into the fruits like the strawberries and raspberries and apricots and apples and peaches.
Wow.
And
that's really cool.
And then it carries on into their agroforestry, into their aquaculture, into their livestock. It's a phenomenal country to see it all in one place.
I don't know much about that.
Oh, it is. If you are at all interested in agriculture, Chile is the place to go, no doubt. So we spent some time there, and when we came back from our sabbatical, we decided that we would go grain farming again because that is what we knew, that was what we were good at. And 2 years into that, we realized we were kind of at a crossroads. It was a time in our careers, either we needed to expand our farm or we needed to do something different. We were farming 5,000 acres at the time, and we looked at it. Our neighbors were also expanding at that time, so land acquisition was restricted. There was no land to buy if you wanted to buy land. Okay. And we like people. We like to be close to people, and unfortunately with grain farming, you don't get to be that close to your customers. No. And we wanted to have the chance to have direct contact with the customer, and that if they liked our product, they would tell us. If they didn't like our product, they would tell us, and we would know. So we made the decision to sell the family farm. Okay. And that's a big one, right? It's a big one. Yeah. It is. And for us, the grain farm, it was a tool. It was a tool for a lifestyle. It was a tool for a business. It wasn't the tool for the new operation that we had in mind. Okay. And the new operation needed, if we're closer to the customer, you need to be close to customers. Yes. And the problem with rural Saskatchewan is there's not a lot of a big client base.
No customers. No. Okay.
So that's why we sold that farm. We bought this one. Originally, it was supposed to be vegetables in a winery.
That's what I was wondering. If how it sits now is the original idea, because that's usually not how it works.
I wish it was, but no, it wasn't.
Okay.
It was supposed to be vegetables in a winery. It turned out to be flowers in a distillery. So we're along the same lines, but there definitely were some twists and turns in the process.
And I think, just like any business, you start out with this idea, right? Yes. And you need to do your market research. What do customers want? What are we interested in? And then plan A is over here, and then you end up over here, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And what a phenomenal place to end up. Literally, guys, when I walked in, I was just speechless. When Barb spoke about it, you could see the pride on her face at that event. And then when I walked in, I'm like, ooh, and I'm getting goosebumps right now. So it's a beautiful location. So
it's a work in progress, just like all businesses are, and it's step by step, small steps at a time that take you there. And oftentimes it's 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, but we're working in the right direction. That's where it comes from.
And you actually led perfectly into what I wanted to ask you, so thank you for that. As farmers sitting out there, we know that when you're trying to do something like farming, like business, anytime you're putting yourself out there and doing something hard, there's challenges. Yeah. So I love to be real and share challenges so that we all know that we go through them as business owners. Do you mind sharing some of those bumps, challenges that you guys might have had?
Sure.
If any you came across?
Oh, no. there were plenty. Okay. Absolutely plenty. Little things like, we are still farming. So tractors get stuck, insects come into the flower fields, disease, those types of things happen. But now we're onto a new level where we're in the consumer eye, and we're also up against regulations and things that can change in a heartbeat. If there were a new government to come in, they might change the rules for craft distilleries. And so we don't know what could happen. We are fortunate to be doing some exporting, but there's how do you get to the customer in a foreign country? How do you talk to them? What do they really want to hear about you? Are they interested in you? Those are some of the things that we're up against, and we're always, and the biggest challenge that we have is pleasing the customer or being transparent enough for the customer. I believe being transparent solves a lot of the problems, but one bad review on Facebook, one Instagram post that's not that isn't flattering can do a lot of damage in a short period of time. So of all of our challenges, I would say that is probably one of the biggest ones, because as farmers we know how to get crop insurance, and we know when to plant, and we know what to, if it's not getting enough rain, well, we know that maybe we should back off and do something else, or those types of things. But now that new level of dealing with the customer is probably the biggest risk that we have out there right now.
Well, and myself as a farmer, and everybody in the audience, I'm sure, can relate, because in the agriculture industry, farming, we are all facing that pressure, right?
Yes.
Everybody is very interested in what happens on farms and what we do,
not understanding
how we do it,
yes.
and not understanding. And I actually did an episode recently about that, where that is our biggest challenge, and we all need to work to be transparent. So
that's right. Yes,
it's funny that you said that even here.
Oh, for sure. Yes. But transparency and communication to me will solve a lot of problems, rather than not saying anything or not standing up for what you do and not explaining. Because I find people are reasonable. Once you explain what you need to do, they understand. But if they don't get told, then they come up with their own stories and their own ideas, and that's where it gets very dangerous.
It's just like life in general, right? If you're going through something and maybe a miscommunication with another person, if you don't know what's in their head, you make up that story. And I could see that happening with farming too. And you're so right. We always talk about, there's that rule of thumb called the movable middle. 80% of people just don't know.
Yeah.
They're reasonable and they just want to know, and then they can make a decision. The bottom 10%, you're never going to win there. And then there's the top 10% that they're good with whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess that makes sense, because you've really put yourself out there and invited them in. And that means inviting them into what you guys do, your brand, your product, how you grow.
Everything.
And you're actually advocating at its finest, right?
But that's where the opportunity lies too. We have the chance to talk agriculture to them. We have the chance to explain why we do things the way we do. It's really a fantastic position to be in, because now we're in a position where customers are coming to us and they want to know more, and we can tell them the truth, the story as it is. That's what it is.
Well, and yourself and John are both great advocates, so there are no better people to be chatting and welcoming customers in and talking about agriculture. So,
well, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so that's some of the challenges, as we all know, happen. I would love for you to share some of your highlights, because when we're doing hard things, the things that keep us going are those moments where you reach a goal or an award or whatever it is. Can you share some of those moments with us?
Luckily or thankfully, there's been many. It's nice. With the cut flowers that we grow here, we have a U-pick that people can come and pick their own flowers. But before we made it to that step, we were selling flowers at the farmer's market.
Oh, okay.
And I got more hugs from strangers at the farmer's market than I ever did hauling grain. And so, and that's okay. But the neat part about it is the smiles on people's faces. And when you hand a gentleman a bouquet and he turns around and gives it to his wife of the last 30 years, those were real highlights on the flower side. When you do the flowers for a bride and she is just overwhelmed when she opens and sees her bouquets and such. So there's the flower side is very heartwarming that way. But not to take away from the spirit side either, because we've done remarkably well. We sent one of our gins to the World Gin Awards in London, UK, and we won. So we have the world's best cask gin.
Wow.
Yes, thank you.
Way to go.
We went to another awards in Hong Kong, and we came home with 2 gold medals and a silver. So not bad for little peanuts in Saskatchewan. We're pretty proud of what we do. And
that's amazing.
We're really proud that we grow the ingredients that go into our bottles. That's what sets us apart from other distillers. That's what sets us apart and makes our product the product that it is.
That's neat. And I think you touched on it already, but can you tell me again some of the ingredients that you grow? There was a long list of them that go into your spirits. Can you touch on that?
So we claim that we grow 90% of what goes into our bottles.
Okay.
The problem with that is that when you make gin, we also use lemon peel and orange peel. And interestingly enough, you can't grow that here, no matter how hard we try. But we use a lot of triticale, is the base of the grain that we use. We use a lot of, so for the botanicals, we will use cucumber, we will use roses, we will use calendula flowers or rhubarb that we grow here. Those are a lot of the botanicals that we can produce here and use in our products. The other part that I think is really neat is that the grains in the prairies are known around the world as being top quality grains for breads and for pastas and for all kinds of other applications. It only makes sense that we should be able to use that to make the best spirits in the world too. It's the terroir that we have here that they talk about for wine and they talk about with the grapes. We have that. We have that in our ingredients too. It's just nobody knows about it yet, but we're going to change that.
And you can tell, Barb, you're so passionate. That's fantastic. And for those of you listening by podcast, whoever's watching my video can see that I have grabbed a handful of gorgeous cut flowers. And I can imagine why you get hugs if you're giving people flowers like this. So I'm going to put those down so I'm not distracted. That's excellent. So I'm a curious business person all the time. I love to talk about the challenges, the highlights, but I also love knowing how people decide on their business name. Do you guys have a story behind that?
Actually, we do.
Okay.
When we lived at our first farm, we had a black fox come and live in our yard.
Okay.
So it arrived one spring. It was very tame. It would sleep underneath the grain truck, under the semi, and in the morning when we'd go out, it would take off under there, or from under there. We got to see it playing with a red fox in the field one time, and we liked the idea that a red fox is very common around the world. Foxes are common, everybody knows about them.
I didn't even know there's a black fox.
Yeah, so a black fox is from the same family.
Okay.
It's a genetic anomaly, so where it's almost like an albino, but on the other side of the spectrum, of the color spectrum.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's very nice.
And so when we thought about the name, that it is something unique, something common yet unique, we thought that that really suited what we were doing. There are many distilleries in the world, there are many flower farms in the world, but we are unique. And so that is where it came from. We are the Black Fox.
Excellent. That's
We also, I got a couple other things about that. When we painted the distillery, the inside, we needed to match the color with the flooring. And the gentleman said, we have that color. It's called Black Fox.
Oh, no way.
Yes. And then when the still arrived, the serial letters on one of the pumps was BFX, whatever the numbers were that followed.
No.
But so we think we've chosen the right name.
Did you have the name already by the time? Well, I guess you would have, right? So that was probably confirmation that it was right. That's how I would have
Yeah. Well, that's what we say.
Yeah, that's excellent. Thanks for sharing that. Now, I'm really excited for you to share the fruits of your labor with us.
For sure. So we do make gin, we make liqueurs, and we make whiskey. We have gotten a lot of success with our gins. We're quite pleased with them. This is a traditional gin that's got a triticale base, and then it's made with calendula flowers that we grow here and rhubarb. So those are the ingredients that go into this one. This one is made with cucumbers.
Oh,
so
wow.
we can grow a lot of cucumbers here in the province, and you can come out and help me wash cucumbers in the middle of August if you have time. Tracy.
No, thank you. I think I'm busy. I'm not sure what with, but
Too busy.
I'm busy, yeah.
And this is a rather special gin. It's a gin that's been in a barrel, which gives it the color that it carries, that'll make it look a little bit like a whiskey. And it'll start off tasting like a whiskey because it's been in the barrel, but it finishes like a gin. So, which means you get the oaks and the smoke and the vanilla flavors at the start, and then when you swallow, you will get the citrus and the juniper and the other botanicals that come from the gin. So this is the one that's the world's best.
Oh, wow.
And just for you,
So Barb has a special treat for us, and when we take a sample, I'm sure you guys in the audience are going to be jealous, so we're going to do a quick cheers and a sip.
there.
Cheers to your success. You guys know what I'm going to be doing when the camera's off. That is fantastic. Thank you, Barb. And that is so neat. I am just sitting here as a business owner and a farmer. As you're explaining these ingredients, I can just imagine how much time, learning, pride goes into absolutely every one of these bottles. Way to go.
Thank you. And the next product that's coming is our whiskey. So we're really excited. There's a barrel in the back that'll have your name on it, Tracy, if you need it.
Oh, the Tracy Burnett barrels. I like it. I like it. That is great. So the one thing I want to touch on as we work to wrap the interview up is this area. It's pretty special. I'm not from the Saskatoon area, and it was such a neat little experience coming out here outside of Saskatoon down Valley Road. This road is filled with berry farms and nurseries, and this is a tourist destination, isn't it?
It is, and it's really neat to be able to work together with our neighbors. That is part of the reason why we chose this location to be here, because there are other businesses that are doing things, and it's nice. It's a farming community too. We collaborate, we work together. Last fall we had a disaster with frost, Mother Nature. We grow a lot of pumpkins here as well. And the neighbor said, I know you've got pumpkins that are out, I've got tarps, and I send over a couple extra people, we'll come and give you a hand. And so the community, it's farm community. And the helping of each other and being able to do that, and that's really a lot of fun.
I was driving down the highway, Valley Road, coming here and waiting for our interview, and just driving, and it was magical. It's a combination of a tourist destination, all these hot spots, but yet you go by a gorgeous field of canola. So I'm like, this is just the best thing in the world. I'm a tourist and a farmer. So I'm like, this is the best of everything in the world down here. And I will be back. And anybody in the audience that is looking for a place to come for a holiday, or if you're coming anywhere near Saskatoon, do not miss Black Fox Farms and Valley Road. This is just so worth the time.
Thank you.
So that being said, if somebody's interested in coming down here, you guys are open for tours. How does that work?
So we're open to the public most days, Tuesday to Sunday, noon till 6. That's our summertime hours. We do have wintertime hours. And it's just a matter of checking on the website to make, are we in winter hours or are we in summer hours? Yes. We do tours, we do private tours for groups in the evenings, and it's a 2-hour tour, so it's a little more than just your standard walk through and see things.
Nice, that's excellent. So should somebody call in advance or just check the website or just show up?
They can just show up if they want to see what's here in the tasting room. They can, we can book a tour. We also do host a lot of festivals. You need to mark the second Saturday of June on your calendar because that's World Gin Day.
Oh,
so we have a gin festival.
Okay.
We have 17,000 gladiolas that we have planted out there. So we have a gladiola festival. We have 7,000 sunflowers for a sunflower festival, and then our pumpkin festivals in September. So.
You're speaking to me. I really almost want to grab a few friends and family and aunts, and my mom would be. They would absolutely love this. And anybody out there in the audience, again, like I said, if you're coming to Saskatoon, please come here. What Barb and her husband John have built here is something to be proud of and would be an absolute amazing adventure for you guys. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining us, Barb. I know our audience is going to love this episode.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you guys for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks, guys.
You've been listening to Impact Farming. For more great episodes and articles designed to help you manage and grow your farming operation, head on over to farmmarketer.com. Don't forget to sign up while you're there. We will see you on the next episode.